Rub it like a man. Rub it like a man. Love it like you can. Anyway, speaking of profane sexual thoughts, so I kind of it's I don't I'm at a loss for words because I just finished up my book, my second one actually, and I find that life does come full circle, like almost like I can't even describe it. Like people want to refer to it as like the Matrix or holographic universe or whatever, but there's always seems to be a rhyme or reason for why shit happens. Now I've had this ongoing I don't want to say debate, but this struggle with God. Okay, no, this is all going to tie together, trust me, because I'm going to entitle this is we're talking Batman, we're talking God, life and death. I don't know. But I've had this internal struggle with why did God allow things happen the way they did? And for some reason, probably, I want to say last week maybe, week before, I had this really morbid belief system that I was not going to make it out of 2019. I don't know. I'm not saying it's going to happen, or that I needed to do something before. It was something to the effect of I either needed to do something or I wasn't going to be like alive. Well, let me take you back, because this is like this convoluted story where I want to get all these little pieces out, but it's like I'm not putting it in like a cohesive way yet. Basically, for the past few months, I've been having these panic attacks, and because of my physical problems, spina bifida, the tethered spine, the herniated discs, all that crap, I have a hard time getting around. And if I overexert myself, I get to the point where my heart starts pounding like uncontrollably crazy, like to the point like I literally feel it thumping like boom, boom, boom in my throat. It's like fucked up. And I have these moments where I can't take deep breaths. And I don't know if you've ever been to the point where it's like you've blown up, so to speak. They use that term in the wrestling world, where you, like Ultimate Warrior would blow up before he even got to the ring because he'd run so fast and then shake the ropes. And by the time we started the match, he was out of breath. It's kind of like that, but imagine to the point where it's like you just can't take a deep breath, like at all. And the more I think about said deep breath, I start to have panic attacks about the fact that I can't breathe. So if you can't breathe and now you're having a panic attack and hyperventilating at the same time, that is just a really scary thing. I've talked about this a few times, but I want to just throw that out there as the catalyst for why I felt like I really needed to finish the book, because the book is way overdue. That thing should have been done probably 8 years ago. And kept putting it off, and finally I was like, fuck it. I just have this belief that it either needs to be done in 2019 or I'm going to die in 2019 or something. I needed something. And I was like, okay, I'm going to focus on this. I'm going to do the book and get it finished, get the second one out, whatever. Well, as I was doing that, I was going through, basically, it's a life story, and I was going through all the situations, like this girl that I had known for, I don't even remember how many years now. I keep wanting to say 5, but it was longer than 5. Whatever. And essentially what happened was, I am a born-again Christian. I believe in Jesus. Yeah, I say fuck a lot, but I believe in Jesus. Born again, the whole nines, died for my sins, all that bullshit. I say bullshit in a collective, not, whatever. And she turned out to be Orthodox fucking Jew, and of course, everything was perfect except for that fact. I love Jesus, she hates Jesus. And needless to say, she left me 3 days before Christmas to go marry her quote-unquote soulmate that she met 2 weeks prior. Okay, fine. Now, I, being the good Christian, wanted to be a good Christian man to her, so during the time that I knew her, I was reading my Bible and I was praying to God, and I was like all upright and forthright and trying to be right for, on that end at least even from a good friend perspective or whatever. I was trying to be the godly person that, whatever. I was trying to do right. And then all of a sudden, all that bullshit happens, and I literally threw my Bible across the room and I was like, fuck it. And I had enough of all the bullshit because it was just, oh my God. I don't want to get into this because it gives me the shits, but it was just, the dude she hooked up with was a dentist and his last name was Stifle. So I literally was stifled. Think about the logic and the cosmic joke. And God literally fucked me in the ass with a shampoo bottle. And it was like, oh yeah, by the way, here's some insult to injury. And it was just one of those things where I was like, fuck you, God, kind of a deal. And in a way, rightfully so, because what the fuck? I'm sorry. The fact that even happened the way it did, especially considering I wanted to do right and be good in the situation, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh yeah, by the way, ha ha ha. Okay, I got a little pissed off with that. I ain't gonna pretend otherwise. I'm not gonna parse words with that shit. I got a little fucking pissed off. I jokingly refer to myself as a modern day Job, which is interesting. So we had all that going on. And then literally about 2 weeks after she left, 3 days before Christmas, my mother dies. Now, being somebody who was essentially disabled, I was at home at the time, and my mother basically ran everything, so the fact that I was left with my imbecilic father, who had to pick up the pieces of our life and try to do something with it, when there's no money and there's no anything, and there's like thousands of dollars worth of bills, back bills, not even current bills. It was just one of those, like, it just one thing led into another to another and so on and so forth. So needless to say, 2005 was a real kick in the fucking dick for me. Now, I say all that because reading through the book, it brought back all those memories and all those feelings and like, why did God do this? Why was it, why did it have to play out that way? And it's really interesting because of the timing, and like I literally felt led that I should do the book. Like I felt like I was being, I'm gonna say led, maybe by God or whatever, for a particular answer to said question, like why did this happen? Now keep in mind, this has been going on for years, so for me just to randomly have a panic attack and think I could be dead by the end of 2019, I really want to get this book done, to actually then go and do it. We're talking like 150,000 words, 200 pages, we're talking like an actual book, to then go through the entire thing, relive all those memories, relive all that bullshit, and actually have fun doing it, by the way. I was actually having a lot of fun doing that. And like I said, it brought those memories back, and it brought those questions back. Now, the whole point of me saying any of that is because I collect Batman comic books. I used to collect Wolverine as my primary, but because they were fucking assholes, wanted to go SJW bullshit, whatever, I then switched over to DC, started reading a bunch of DC, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, all that bullshit. And I really dig Batman a lot. And I was a few issues behind. A few weeks ago, I read up to the wedding story where he finally proposed to Catwoman, and Selina said yes, and it was great. And well, Selina was being manipulated and made. Basically, the way the issue 50 ended was that she realized she couldn't marry Bruce because if Bruce were happy, he couldn't be the brooding Batman to save the city, and the city needed him more. So she basically left him at the altar. So it's like I could almost kind of relate to that in a way of, heartache and break and, the bitch done left kind of a deal. So there was that going into it. And as I was going through all this stuff in my book and reliving it, like, why did God do this? What was the point? Now, keep in mind, this is probably, oh shit, the woman's been dead 15 years. Well, no, let's see. Well, it's 2005. 15, 16, 17. So we're talking, 18 years now? Jesus, wow. So it's been like 18 years. So this has been like an 18-year question to God. And it kind of came to, I kind of got my answer by reading Batman's issue 51, 52, and 53, which was, I think, what was it called? It was called Cold Days. And it was a really cool story, actually. And I purposely had saved it up because I didn't want to read 1 month and then wait a month and then read the second one. I waited for all 3 parts, and it happened to just coincide with me doing all this stuff in the book. And it was a really cool story because he got jury duty, which there's a story in my book about I got jury duty. So now we're talking 2 things in my life in this book happened in Batman. He fell in love with somebody, she left him, now he's got jury duty. Well, what was kind of cool is that it was Bruce Wayne versus Batman. Because what happened was Batman, who was really distraught over Selina leaving him at the altar, literally, that he went and beat up Mr. Freeze and like beat the bejesus out of him, like just went ham on his ass and like went over the he basically crossed the line. And now Bruce Wayne has to do jury duty to basically see if Mr. Freeze is guilty or innocent. Well, Bruce Wayne, being the world's greatest detective, started to see and ponder and think and blah 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 that maybe Batman was wrong. So you had this really, really cool dynamic, and throughout the entire thing he's going through his life about how his parents were killed and so on and so forth, and then he started raising all this reasonable doubt. Well, maybe Batman is not always right. He went into this thing about we look at him as a god. He swoops in and he saves us. But he's not. He's infallible. He's not all knowing. He's not all perfect, and sometimes he can fuck up. And we, yes, he saved every one of us in this room. And they kind of went and told their own little story about, oh, he saved me this and did this, and But just because he did that and people had this high hope and high expectation of him, does not mean he's not, able to fail. And it was really a cool story. And then the third part went into this whole thing about Job, and they even quote part of the story, the Bible verse of Job at the end, and Bruce is talking about how he lost all his kids, he lost his farm, his whatever it is, he lost all his servants, and he was like holding on as long as he could, Job, and finally he just snapped and he broke, and he's like, God, why are you doing this? Which is kind of what I was saying. And it was just so interesting because basically God says, who are you to question me? And again, this is the exact same fucking thing that I was going through on multiple levels, and it was just really, I don't know, it was just really cool, the timing. I'm not going to sit there and lie because I hadn't looked at the book in over a year. Then all of a sudden I had, like I said, a panic attack, and I was like, I got to get this done. I need to do this. This is something I need to do. I just was like, and I was like one-track mind for about about a week. Literally a one-track mind where it's like, I got to go through this whole thing and do it. And like I said, as I was reading all the stories and blah, 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 it brought all this shit back, and it was like, why are you doing this, God? And then all of a sudden it was like, who are you to question me? And then they go into this thing about Job, and it was let me put it this way, Batman was an actual answer to prayer. Because one thing I've noticed in my fucking life is if I literally sit here and I'm like, God, what's going on? I don't see what the purpose is here. I swear to God, within 24 hours usually, I'll just be randomly doing something. Something will pop into my head, or I'll be watching a YouTube video, or I'll be playing a video game, and it will say something in the text, and it'll be like, holy crap, that was the answer. That's the answer. It's like if I ask a question, it usually happens. Now this one took a little longer, I'm not going to lie. It took almost a year. And part of me almost feels like I wasn't ready for the answer back then, because I would have just scoffed at it. But the fact that things had played out the way they did with Batman, again, the whole wedding, being set up, jury duty, I mean, it went into this whole thing, and it was like I'm experiencing the same thing. And it was just a really, really, really cool situation. I cannot express like how deep this shit was for me, because I don't know if it was. I don't know. I don't know. I can't even put it into words. But again, just the timing was insane. Anyways, I think that's going to be. I'm gonna do a really short clip today. So, and again, I apologize for the fan blowing in the background, but like I said, it was just really, really cool. It was just really cool that I went through the same shit, the exact same shit, and then I'm reading about it. And it's like, I could totally relate, and it's like, I dig this, and of course, I just love the dynamic between Bruce and Batman in that situation, because, like I said, Batman went over the line, he crossed the line, and then Bruce, kind of the level head at that point, now obviously the same guy, but, I don't know, it's just really, really cool. I don't know, it was deep shit, like deep, cosmic, universal bullshit, saying, oh, this is why, fuck you, don't question me. And again, the way they explain the situation in the book, I wish I could. I got it here, but I don't want to like get into it. I mean, but it's totally worth it. It's totally worth getting. It's let's see, Batman 51, 52, and 53, called Cold Days, and the one in question specifically is it's called Dark Knight No More. Oh, dude, just the way it ends, and it ends at the end. Well, obviously it ends at the end. That was the stupidest fucking thing I've said all day. But at the end, when it ends, I should say, they actually quoted, fuck it, I gotta pull it out. Hold on, let me pull it out. I want to quote, actually I don't know if quote it, it's just what the Bible says, but, hold on. Okay, here it is. Let's see. What was so cool about this is Batman decided after what he did and crossed the line, that he needed to go back to his old suit. And I love the parallel that they had, because when you read Job 1:20 through 21, and they actually quote it here, very cool. Then Job arose and rent his mantle and shaved his head. He fell down upon the ground in worship and said, naked come I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return. Lord, let's see, where am I? The Lord gave, and the Lord taketh away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. So it was just really, really fucking cool. I mean, it was just a really awesome little thing. That was the answer. God giveth, he taketh away. It's like, fuck you, who are you to question? And I really dig what was going on. Because like I said, it was a literal answer to prayer. Again, a fucking over 18 years prayer, but whatever, it happened. I think I was in the right place to receive it, and it's weird how somebody like King, who wrote the story, like obviously know nothing about me, happened to write the exact same fucking thing that I was going through, and I literally think he wrote it for me. I mean, I don't know if other people had similar experiences. It would be kind of weird if people had the same experience I did, but hey, it's just one of those things. Anyways, and plus it was kind of cool. They were, quoting from the Bible, and it was just, I don't know, it was kind of cool. Especially the fact that the story there was parallels to Job and to Batman, and then into my life. So the three trinity, if you will, of bullshit. It was just, I don't know. I can't. What the hell is that? Is that a dude? There's a commercial that popped up on this recorder, and there's a black person with like this black eyeliner, and it looks like it could be a dude. I don't want to know anything about that, but it's probably a woman. But all you see is the eyes. It looks weird. But I have to admit, black people with like black and purple seem to go together. It's weird. Whatever. I don't mean to be racist, but it's just, I don't know if it. I don't know. It doesn't really look good, but the purple looks good with the dark skin. But I don't know if I like the purple. Like they do that in WWE where they put the women were doing this thing where they put red eye makeup on, and it looks like they've been crying and shit. I don't know. Whatever. That's beside the case. But anyway, this is really cool. I want to do more of a review of Batman, but I don't know. It's just really cool. Anyways, that's it. Also, I got. Fuck you.